everyone, and welcome to episode 103 of Piv's NXT Point of View podcast. My name is Bill Pivets. So this week's episode of NXT featured two title matches, Asuka defending her women's championship against Peyton Royce, and DIY getting their obligated rematch against Authors of Pain. The show kicked off with Patrick Clark against Sean Maluta. Neither man got a reaction. Maluta was a little quick out of the gate, landing some nice offense. Clark fired back and won with the Famouser. Yeah, I got nothing here. Didn't really care. The announcers, especially Percy Watson, tried giving each character some backstory of what their previous life was like. I couldn't care less. Sanity were shown outside, standing next to a fire and a garbage can. Hopefully they're away from the Wyatt compound that Randy Orton blew up on SmackDown. Eric Young called Dillinger disease that he will get rid of. So I guess that feud's still going on. Second match was Asuka versus Peyton Royce for the Women's Championship. Royce ducked a running kick, probably the Shining Wizard, and the two women ducked each other's spin kicks, leading to a nice standoff and an applause from the crowd. Asuka landed two hip attacks, sending Peyton Royce to the outside. Royce grabbed Asuka by the arm, pulled her into the steel post to take control. She locked in a hammerlock. Asuka came back with a missile dropkick off the ropes, a couple strikes, and she did connect with the Shining Wizard for a near fall. After having the Fisherman suplex blocked, Royce got a near fall after her spin kick. Asuka popped up out of nowhere, locked in the Asuka lock to get the win. After the match, Billie Kay ran in and took out Asuka. Royce recovered, then it became a 2-on-1. They worked over her left shoulder until Ember Moon ran down to even the odds and made the save. I don't know if it was me, the camera angles, or what, but it just seemed like none of her stuff was connecting. She was pulling back a little too far away that nothing was landing. Ember and Asuka had a stare down with Asuka raising the title in front of her face. Good match. Royce definitely countered a couple of Asuka's moves, which made the match a little more compelling, made it a little more fair compared to some of the other matches we've seen Asuka have. As for the supposed Asuka-Ember match, why should we care? Honestly, it's going to be a great match, don't get me wrong, I'm looking forward to it, but after the last couple weeks of Ember Moon matches, she's got no momentum heading into this. She lost the tag team match a couple weeks ago when Liv Morgan took the pin. She was made to look like a fool in the triple threat match last week when they kept her on the outside and she got no offense in. And now we're expecting her to be the next number one contender and the one that could defeat Asuka. It's just a little disconnect. They got about 4 weeks until TakeOver Orlando. So they got a lot of work to repair Ember's image and to build this match up to a marquee match. We got video again of Nakamura being carried away after TakeOver San Antonio and the appearance of Cassius Ohno in the back. They then transitioned to Ohno's return and his confrontation with Bobby Roode last week. In his office, William Regal announced that Roode will defend his NXT title against Cassius Ohno in 2 weeks. So with that being said, I guess they're going back to Bobby Roode and Shinsuke Nakamura for TakeOver Orlando. Maybe they go triple threat, who knows? But it feels like they're just rushing through the Cassius Ohno feud when they could make this something huge. If Nakamura is getting the call anyway to go to the main roster, why not build maybe a triple threat match, kind of transition into Ohno being the next babyface, and when Nakamura leaves, so they don't have a void in the main event picture. Main event was Authors of Pain versus DIY. This episode went pretty quickly. There wasn't a lot going on, but later on, it started to pick up. DIY hit Rezar with a double spear through the ropes. They sent Akam over the top rope. Ciampa went to hit Rezar with either a Hurricanrana or a Senton off the apron, but he was caught and sent back first into the steel post. Authors of Pain then worked over Ciampa for a little while. Ciampa landed a few slaps, but Authors of Pain landed their assisted sidewalk slam, with, I think, Akam coming off the second rope and stomping down on him. Ciampa dodged a couple tags. He made the hot tag to Gargano. He landed a dive to the outside on Akam and then took out Rezar with the senton. He continued with a nice slingshot DDT from the apron inside the ring. Ciampa locked in an armbar after a discus clothesline. DIY powerbombed Rezar out of the corner, like a double powerbomb for a near fall. They went for their finisher, but Akam held Ciampa as Gargano received a huge spinebuster. DIY countered the powerbomb spot and locked in dueling crossfaces. At this point, the Revival came out of nowhere and interfered, costing DIY the tag team titles. They hit Ciampa with the Shatter Machine. Rezar then took out the Revival. They went for last chapter, but Wilder pulled down the ropes, sending one of the Authors of Pain to the outside. Revival then hit, I think it was Akam, with a huge Shatter Machine, which got the crowd to their feet, possibly the loudest reaction of the night, and they walked away. Match was good for what it was. The crowd obviously is behind DIY, so they're going to cheer for any hope spot or any near fall that they get. Authors of Pain still improving, still looking good in the ring, being those vicious, dominant heels, those big guys that you can't take out. With it all but pretty much booked, the triple threat tag team match should be pretty awesome for TakeOver. All three teams work well together, and I think it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. I don't know if it's going to be one person from each team in the ring at the same time, or one member of DIY versus one member of Revival as the Authors of Pain show on the outside. That'll be interesting to see how it plays out there. But I think this match is probably going to be the match of the night. And obviously the tag team matches usually are, considering the matches DIY and the Revival had last year. So I'm interested to see which route they take. I think the Revival should get the call up soon. SmackDown, or even Raw, could use both teams. But I think they'll go to SmackDown to feud with American Alpha again. As for DIY, they could probably be used in the Cruiserweight division, but I see them staying put because after those two teams leave, the tag team division in NXT is empty. So hopefully they'll space it out, but I think one of those teams will be gone by WrestleMania. As for the show, it was pretty average. Jobber match to kick it off, women's match was good, and the tag team match went long enough to be good before the interference happened. Next week we got Nakamura back in action, and we have the NXT title on the line in 2 weeks. As I mentioned, TakeOver is about 31 days away. There's about 4 more weeks left of NXT TV. We got to get the card built. It looks like, I'm assuming, like I said, it could be a triple threat match, but I'm assuming it'll be a singles match between Rude and Nakamura. Then we got the 3-team NXT tag title match and Asuka versus Ember Moon. We probably will get a Ty Dillinger, Eric Young match, or a 6-man match, including No Way Jose and Roderick Strong in the mix. I don't know what the rest of the card is going to look like. They usually have about 5 or 6 matches. We may get the UK title on the line with Tyler Bate and maybe Pete Dunne. But other than that, they really haven't been building anyone else. I'm not sure because last TakeOver was probably the weakest built, but the card was still strong. We had some really good matches. I could see this one taking the same route as NXT is kind of in a transition period. But they usually don't disappoint. I don't remember being mad or disappointed in a TakeOver special. So we'll see what happens in 4 weeks. Alright guys, thanks for tuning in to Piv's NXT Point of View podcast. I'll be back next week with episode 104. Follow me on Twitter at bpiv_sports. Comment, like, subscribe to the show on YouTube. I have a playlist for all the episodes. You can go back and listen to previous episodes, see where NXT was maybe a year or 2 ago, see how much has changed. Alright, check you back next week. Peace.